Greetings, everybody. We're about to begin. Thanks for watching this bite-sized presentation of the new A+ French Units 1-4 study guide. My name is Maud Fugier-Sola, and I'm one of the co-authors of A+ French. I collaborated with Michael Sola, Alan Chamberlain, and the Sankage team. I'm delighted to present short snippets of the new key features of this edition. The VCEE does not endorse nor make any warranties regarding this study resource. While it does suit the VCE study design, it has been written to include a wealth of pedagogical language learning tools, mind maps, essay prompts, listening, reading, and visual resources that you will find useful in adapting to your curriculum in other states of Australia and in New Zealand, so your students get the practice they need to ace their exams. Sankage acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respect to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. All the content of the previous edition has been kept, and I will help you navigate and unpack the new features with a lot of explicit scaffolding. It now includes Year 11 and Year 12 students. So what has been added to the new A+ French Study Guide, Units 1-4? This is a quick overview and small portions of the new key elements, such as Units 1 and 2 outcomes, key knowledge and skills, metacognitive questions, reflection on the specifications of Units 1 to Units 4 outcomes, good and excellent samples adapted to Units 1 and 2 level for both sections of the oral exam, practices within the chapters for all the macro skills, essay prompts with images covering Units 1 to Units 4, pedagogical tools to learn vocabulary from Units 1 to Units 4, model essays with new text types, again covering Units 1, 2, 3, 4, examples of visuals for outcomes as well for Units 1 and 2, about 25 new audio tracks for Unit 1 to Unit 4, and 2 Units 1 and 2 practice exam, and the annual additional release of Units 3 and 4 practice exams, and also explanatory notes for answers from Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the new addition of the Units 1 and 2 outcomes, key knowledge and skills, students now from Units 1 to 4 can evaluate themselves by completing the temperature checks and commenting in the self-reflection space by providing notes, reflection notes, personal goals, or strategies, and revisiting them before and after each outcome can be useful. So this study guide takes the form of an individual workbook or logbook, and alternatively, teachers can also write their feedback on the page or tick the boxes or give constructed feedback along with self-reflection of the students. As you know, metacognition is an essential pillar to advance one's language learning, and these probing questions will pay dividends if the students, before tackling a task, ask themselves these questions. Where did I get stuck last time? What is the task asking me to do? What are the criteria that I have to follow? Do I know a mind map that I can use as a guide? What higher order thinking skills do I need? What are the steps that I need to follow? What does this task remind me of? What do I know already? How confident am I to apply this key knowledge and skill? How confident am I to incorporate this key knowledge and skill into my work? In this new edition, we wanted to have a bit of a reflection on the specifications of Units 1 to 4 SACs, and the following diagram provides a visualization of the interwoven concepts applied across Units 1 to 4 for each area of study. And this is just a mind map summarizing what is the backbone of the study design with the two strands, the communicating and the understanding one. And as you can see in the middle, all the 5 micro skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, viewing, and writing, are all intertwined with these 2 strands. And to understand what the interpersonal communication is, it's really about all the interactions you can have with others. The interpretive communication is really where the information is located, interpreted, and analyzed. And the presentational communication is about the information, the ideas, and points of view that are integrated or evaluated, presented, and explained. Same with the understanding. It's really all about the interpersonal, intercultural awareness, also the comparisons, the similarities and differences that are studied and explained, and also the communities with all the cultural products or practices that are investigated. To cater for students in Units 1 and 2, we wanted to add some samples to differentiate between good and excellent responses for the first and the second part of the oral exam. And you can see in the general conversation part, we have questions like "Qu'aimez-vous faire pendant votre temps libre?" You will have a range of these questions, followed by comments to see the difference between student A and student B. In the second part, you will see questions like "Quel élément de cette image vous fait le plus réfléchir?" or "Est-ce qu'une opinion est exprimée dans l'image?" And you will see that it is accompanied by visuals just to mirror the second part of the oral exam. To continue placing the student at the heart of their VCE learning journey, we have provided earlier opportunities for exam preparations for Units 1 and 2 students. We have incorporated practices within the chapters for all the 5 micro skills, and obviously it does correspond to all the sections of the exam. We have followed prescribed themes and topics, and the new texts cover themes like gastronomy, cinema, fashion, tertiary options, tourism, leisure, occupation and careers, colonial France, and sustainability, just to add to our existing list. Undoubtedly, students who are practicing on a regular basis their written skills will know how to satisfy all the text type and kind of writing conventions. This is why we have provided additional essay prompts with images for Units 1 to 4. Essays like Persuasive Podcast. En vous basant sur cette image, vous écrivez le script du podcast visant à persuader les auditeurs d'adopter la voiture électrique. And this is really forcing the students to incorporate elements of the visual. Another example could be un concours d'écriture créative est organisé pour les jeunes adultes de votre commune. Écrivez une histoire imaginaire en vous inspirant de la photo ci-dessous. Votre histoire sera publiée sur le site internet des organisateurs du concours. It seems fitting to say that these pedagogical tools are to be added to your own toolbox, because you're already experts at what you're doing with your student. This is just a fun and visual way to anchor interesting words and expressions into the long-term memory. It's really also to show the students that they need to have fun and explore their own mind maps or drawings to remember some words better. These are expressions with animals, so to name but a few, like avoir un cheval de bataille, avoir un chat dans la gorge, ou bien un froid de loup, will be just a few examples. To embed good exam techniques, you will see in Chapter 4 that we've added methodological advice with new model essays and new text types, including diary entry, email, report, that have been added to the existing list. We also believe that to show their skills as thinkers, it's fantastic for this essay writing approach. The annotations are very clear, and that is really asking the students to remember the key features that they need to incorporate into their essays. We've also tapped into examples of visual for outcomes Units 1 and 2, namely Unit 1 Outcome 2 and Unit 2 Outcome 3, just to give a few snippets and examples of what it could be like. So for instance, for the topic of the French cultural perspectives, we had a look at the subtopic of music with this map of a festival, music festival venue, and also the subtopic of tourism, and we had some eco-friendly vehicles as well to show there, because we understand how important it is to use, observe, recognize, synthesize, incorporate, manipulate, extract, interpret, discuss, compare, analyze, identify, contrast, understand, and evaluate all the ideas, the concepts, the information that are in visual texts. We've added around 25 new audio tracks, and we kept the features of the good and excellent responses, and we've adapted it to Units 1 and 2 level, and for both sections of the orals as well. And this is just a snippet of one.
Good response. Est-ce qu'une opinion est exprimée dans l'image? L'opinion évidente qui se dégage de cette image est que le nucléaire doit être stoppé. Je partage l'opinion que le nucléaire représente un danger et je comprends pourquoi beaucoup de personnes veulent que l'énergie nucléaire s'arrête. C'est surtout pour des raisons de santé. Alors, je pense que c'est important de discuter de cet aspect.
And this is obviously a fantastic launchpad onto a great discussion. To help with pronunciation, we recorded all the new idiomatic expressions as well, and this is just a snippet of one of them. Miser sur le bon cheval. Monter sur ses grands chevaux. Avoir une fièvre de cheval. And we also have some samples of audio in a practice exam, all within the book as well. And this is again an example of what it could be like.
Bon, Sophie, tu es prête à sortir et à aller voir le film intitulé « Délicieux » ?
Oui, absolument, François. Mais mon conseil, c'est d'aller manger avant de voir ce film. Comme nous allons voir des images de plats formidables, si nous ne mangeons pas avant, nous risquerons d'avoir trop faim.
In the brand new 2 Units 1 and 2 practice exams and in the annual release of practice exams, we want students to have access to up-to-date exam resources and also to a variety of visual stimulus, ranging from infographics, photographs with contemporary content, having a lot of different text types, brochures, articles, and obviously kinds of writing. So likewise, in the annual release of Units 3 and 4 practice examination, we have incorporated a lot of various visuals too in Section 2 Part A, Section 2 Part B, and in Section 3. Similarly to Units 3 and 4 practice exams, we have given some explanatory notes for answers for Units 1 and 2 practice exams within the chapters of the book. So they are placed at the end of the print book, but the answers for all the practice exams can be found on the website. So this gives a bit of a flexibility of approach, and definitely the students are either in charge or they can maybe follow your own instructions as to when it's going to be released or when they can have access to the explanatory notes or the key answers. To conclude, I'd like to say merci beaucoup. It's been a pleasure sharing a small number of ways to engage the students, and we hope that these study guides give students plenty of agency and these resources prove useful. Au revoir! Et à bientôt!